Hey, Writers, Keith Wheeler here, back with another video for you. Now, whether you're self-publishing children's books or you're self-publishing no-content, low-content books like journals or even puzzle books or planners, you might be wondering how to create a belonging to page or a title page. Well, you're in luck because in today's video, not only am I going to show you how to create a belonging to page, but I'm going to show you how to do it absolutely free using Canva. So if this gets you excited, make sure that you give that like button a smashy. With that, let's head on over to Canva. Well, here we are in Canva. And if you've never heard of Canva, well, I don't know what rock you've been living under. What I'm using is the absolutely free version. There is a paid version, but everything I'm going to show you is here in the free version. The book I'm going to do is 8.5 by 11. I'm doing this belongings to page for one of my puzzle books. And so I'm just going to go right over here to custom size. I'm going to make sure the first thing I do is put this bad boy over into inches. And then I'm just going to put 8.5 by 11. Now, what you want to make sure that you keep in mind is if you're doing a book with bleed, then obviously you need to include the bleed in your dimensions. This one's not going to have bleed. I typically don't put bleed in my puzzle books, but if you want to, then make sure that you take that into consideration. If you don't know how to do bleed, I'll put a link up above to the video that I did on how to work with bleed. Fun fact, my youngest daughter actually helped me with that video. All right, so we're gonna hit create new design. And my eyesight is hot garbage, so I'm actually gonna increase this area. This is my work area. I'm just gonna go down here and I'm just gonna increase it a little bit. Well, not that much. There we go. Just so I can see the whole page, but it's a little bit bigger. Okay, so right here, we've got some templates that we can use. You can just scroll through and see if anything interests you. I'm just gonna do this completely from scratch. The first thing I wanna do is I wanna give myself some margins. Because I'm not doing with bleed, I need to make sure that I don't have my words go too far off the side. So we're going to go to elements, which is right over here. And as you can see, I like to play around with this a lot. So there's some recently used ones. I'm just gonna go down over here to the lines and shapes, and I'm gonna do just a simple square. Click on it once, it brings it over here, and I'm just gonna drag this up. And as you drag it, it's going to show you the dimensions. See right there where it pops up? And so since this is 8.5 by 11, and I'm gonna set it up with a 1/2 inch on each side. So 8.5 inches wide for my main page. If I do a 1/2 inch on one side and a 1/2 inch on the other, then that means that I want the width of this to be 7.5 inches of actual workable space. So we're gonna go over here and we're gonna put this at 7.5. And then I can just drag it over, and that line right there tells me it is centered. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the height. So instead of 11 inches, I want a 1/2 inch margin on top, 1/2 inch on the bottom. And so instead of 11 inches, I want this to be 10. And again, if I drag this up, it will show me when I'm centered right there. Okay, so this is my workable space. Now I'm going to change this color a little bit just because, well, I don't want it to be too overwhelming. So just do something faint like this. Obviously, I want to have some words in here, right? Now, one thing I love about Canva is that not only do they just give you these, already preset ones, but typography, which is the art of working with text, is not something that I'm really strong at. But I do love when, like, for example, the top part, if I say this journal belongs to, the top sentence to be one type of font and the bottom to be a different one, but I'm not good at finding what complements each other. But if you scroll through here, you can see that they do. Like, they already group them together for you. So I know I want the top one to have some kind of cursive to it. So I'm just going to scroll through and see which one kind of, stands out. Maybe we can do this right here, this little Parmesan cheese one. Okay, and so I click on that, it jumps that bad boy over here. I'm gonna hit Control A, and it's gonna highlight the cursive part. And I'm gonna say, let's just say this book, or this is actually a puzzle book, so I'll say these puzzles. So I don't necessarily like it being, I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller because I don't like it being on two lines. So then now we're down here, and this is a completely different font. And as you can see, if you don't like the way these group together, you can actually go right here to ungroup, and it'll basically make those two separate, and you can space them out better or differently if you want. So I'm going to go in here, and so these puzzles, and then I'm just going to say belong to. Okay, now obviously we really can't read that too much. So we're going to up that font a bit. So these puzzles belong to, we can grab this, drag it up. Again, that line in the middle is going to make sure to make it clear that we are still centered. Now, what's the next thing we need? Well, we're going to need to put some kind of line in, right? We can go back over to elements and I can just click see all and it'll give me all the different options. Another thing I could do is if I didn't want to do that, I could just go in here and type the word lines. As you've seen, I've done before, and it just shows me all the different options I have. Now, some of these are going to be paid, but the good thing is there'll be a little symbol that tells you that right there. It's got a little logo right here. That's pro. And so that means it's going to cost you if you use that. Now, typically that cost is like about $1. So it's not super expensive. So let's go with just something simple, just a regular line, because I don't want the little dashes at the end or circles or anything like that. But obviously you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to click on that, drops it over here. I'm going to use my arrows just to bring that bad boy down a bit. I can change the color if I want, which is right up here. I can change the thickness right here. Right now, I'm just going to make it a little bit longer. So I'm just going to drag it over here. As you can see, not only is this showing me the length, but it's also showing me the degrees, which means this is not straight. So I need to bring it down a bit. Again, I can make the line longer if I want. I can make it a different color, whatever I want to do. So technically, this could be your title page. You know, if you're doing a children's picture book, then you can do, you know, the title, and then you can have, you know, a picture from the interior or maybe a unique picture that's specific to the title. But again, if you're doing no content, low content books, puzzle books, journals, planners, or whatever, this is how you would do it. But this is kind of plain. I mean, yeah, the text is cool and the line is cool, but let's do a little bit more. So one thing I love to mess around with is Filigree. The hardest part about doing Filigree is spelling it. So as you can see, I've done it many times and I'm still spelling it wrong. And again, some of these are paid, you know, it says pro right there. Some of these are not. One of the ones I like to use, this one right here looks awesome. So we're going to bring that over. Again, you click it one time, it brings it over. I'm going to drag that up here. I want to put it right here in this corner. Obviously that is way too big, so I'm just going to shrink it. And I think that's a good size. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that's a good size. So what I do is I'm going to just simply copy that, Control C, Control V. I'm going to bring that over here and I'm going to put it on this side. You may be saying, but Keith, that's facing the wrong direction. We can go right over here. We can hit flip. I'm going to flip horizontally. Boom. There we go. So then now I can click on one. I can hold shift and click on the other. Control C, Control V. I'm gonna use my arrows and bring that down. And again, you might be saying, Keith, that's facing the wrong direction. No problem. I'm gonna click on it. Click on that one. And this time I'm gonna flip it vertically. There we go. Just put that in place. All right. So technically, this may be all we wanna do. You wanna do something a little bit fancier, then maybe we could use this, put that in, use my arrows. There we go. We could do that. Maybe instead of using that, you want to use this paid one, which is nice, cool. I mean, it's got a little bit more design to it. Again, that would be maybe $1, maybe $2. This one is another one of the ones that's paid. So the fancier ones are going to cost. I think that looks great, right? Like that. I'll probably actually bring this down just a couple more, just so it's not right underneath that line. And so technically right there, that's our title page, our belonging to page. You may want to keep that color in there, you know, that gray box. I don't like it in there because especially since I'm not going to do a color book, you know, mine's going to be all black and white, which is what I do for most of my no content, low content books to keep the price down. And so I'm just going to click inside there and I'm going to hit the big old delete button. There we go. So there's my belong to page. So then the next thing I need to do is I want to give this a good title, and you can do this at any point, but I'm just going to do belongs to, because I'll probably have a different one for my planners and my journals and all that other stuff. So we'll do that. All right. So then I'm going to go to share. I'm going to go to download. I want to download it as a print PDF, as a PDF print file right here. Click download. It's going to put this bad boy into my downloads folder. But then the next question might be, Keith, what do I do with this? You know, how do I merge this with my already existing PDF? Well, I'm glad you asked, even though you didn't, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And once again, this is going to be free as well. Click over here, and I'm going to go to I Love PDF. Now, just proof that this is absolutely free, what I'm about to show you, I'm not even going to log in. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge PDF. I'm just going to select the PDFs I want to merge. Okay. So right here is my puzzle book file, and right there is my belongs to puzzle file. So we're going to click on this one and click on this one. And there it goes. What it's going to do is this file right here, as you can see, is 135 pages. And this is my cover. If I wanted to change the order, I would just drag and drop this over here. But obviously I want my title page, my belonging to page, to be in the front. So it's going to go right there. And I just say merge file. Now, one of the key things to do, to keep in mind, is to make sure that the file that you created, the belonging to title page, whatever you want to call it, that it is the same dimensions as your PDF that you created for the rest of your interior. Otherwise, it's going to look very off when you merge them together. So it's already been merged. I'm going to click download the merged PDF. Here we go. So if I scroll down to the bottom left-hand corner, we can see our dimensions, which is 8.5 by 11, which is good because that's what we set it up as. This is my title page, my belonging to page. These puzzles belong to, there's the line, and then it goes right into my puzzle book. Again, you can use this for journals, planners, children's books, whatever, any kind of title page you want to do, whether it's a belonging to page or a normal title page, you can do it right there in Canva. And then you can use something like I Love PDF to merge them all together. Well, how quick and easy was that? And best of all, it was free. Zip, zilch, nada. I mean, free is my favorite 4-letter F word. But you know what else is free? Your Author Central page. And if you've not set up your Author Central page, don't think it's just for authors. You can absolutely use it for your no content, low content business as well. Make sure to check out this video right here, and I'll show you exactly how to set up your Amazon Author Central page. Now, if you've already seen that video, well, YouTube says that this video right here has got your name written all over it. I'll catch you in one of these videos, and remember to write right.